Welcome, 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 trivalent beings of spirit, mind, and body. Time for the Ask Doc Alkebulanese Solution Show, sponsored by Prometheus Reborn Universal Foundation, also known as Proof. Its mission is to spread the trivalent understanding noetics, featuring stand-up philosophy that includes anthropology, psychology, biology, metaphysics, medicine, psychodrama, comedy, and music through a genre called edutainment, educating while entertaining, coined by KRS-One. The host of this wonderful show is Dr. Kwaku L. Carlisle Woods, RN, MD, Met D1, and myself, co-host, Dr. Hamida Rockman Woods, MED, PhD, Met D2. Well, first of all, we hope the sound is working well. Thank you so much, Shelly K, for letting us know. Well, as you all already know, I have the PH.
I have the M.
We both have D's. That makes us Doc Squared. The title of the day's show is The Journey to You, Y.O.U, Your Own Understanding, Conclusion/Preview.
All righty, and we still got to go to the Hip Hop Trio Blast.
Yes.
We've been busy this weekend. We've been all over God's creation. We were performing at the Afro-American History Museum of Cleveland.
Yes.
And we did a performance with Africa House, in which we do what we do. We edutain. And edutainment changes what, who, and when you are. We're about to plan our trip to Ghana to go in December and perform there. I talked to my cousin, Kofi Ebenezer Marte. We got room, he said. There he is right there, standing right next to me. He got his wife standing next to him. I got my wife standing next to me.
And she looks like a family member of
yes,
mine.
she do.
Oh, my goodness.
Yes, she do. Well, we all look like family.
We all look like
members.
family.
We all look one family. We're standing out in front of his Hideaway Hotel, and he says he's got about 25 people accommodations. So already, he's still trying to get tours arranged to go to Cape Coast, Kumasi, and other visits outside Lorete and Accra arranged.
And there's a picture of the hotel as well.
Oh, God, yes, and it is so wonderful. Oh, my God.
Actually, that beautiful colors that you see is a reflection of our background tonight. The grass is green.
Oh, it is green and mowed expertly, magnificently, fantastically.
Oh, thank you for that close-up.
No,
it don't look like that, y'all.
But no, it don't. But it's close.
We're working on it.
The table that you see there is where we sat and ate our breakfast every morning. Just as the choir from the convent around the corner made their morning songs and did all of their chants and stuff. Oh, it was magnificent.
Yes.
And y'all won't get ready for the view. But we already got 9 to 12, up to as many as 15 people who already say they want to go.
Yeah.
And Mick said he's got more than that.
Yeah.
Man, I got at least 30, 40 people keep wanting to get on this trip to Africa, man.
Okay. Well, who else wants to return to where their relatives never left? Call us at 216-375-2742 to make arrangements. Now, the price is still being negotiated at present, but it's going to be around $2,000.
And that number will come up again when we put up the flyer for our next class.
Well, that may just be for the flight. But we'll talk about the
We'll talk about all this as we get this squared away.
Madase, Shelly K, and Matt and artists.
Oh, come on now.
Dase.
Random other brother. We got y'all featured in the last portion of this show. The Kendall Boys. Ha ha! Okay, but now to conclude this narrative on our visit to Ghana and what are the results of those events in the lives of those that Prometheus Reborn Universal Foundation, proof, sponsored on the 2023 to 2024 visit to their own self-understanding/realization in Ghana. Now, I'm going to talk to you about mine.
Okay.
My wife and my producer and best friend and business partner, McKinley Tate III, can add into his visions and memories as we go through this. Okay? There we go. Now, the physical change for me was the easiest to see, describe, and explain. Okay. As you all know, human beings are composed of three separate individual functions. The material function is called a body. The non-material function is called a spirit. The partially material, partially non-material function is called mind. And I'm going to go through each of those to explain the experience that I had going to Ghana. Okay. The physical change, again, for me was the easiest to talk about. After, let's see, 2 spinal surgeries and a total of 11 hours in surgery with people cutting up and down my back. A total of 11 hours of knives, rods, bones, and blood. And that translated in approximately 10 days after the last surgery to me walking the paths and mountains of Ghana with hardly any pain or discomfort. We went down to the mountainside where spring comes out of the rocks of the mountain. And this is where water carriers for hundreds to thousands of years.
The picture of Mick and Doc
Yes,
at the water carriers.
that's us.
Yes.
We have just look at the trees in back of us. That's actually a mountainside that goes straight up. And we walked down there. We had to actually take off our shoes when we got to the spiritually holy place. And it was truly, truly a physical discovery going down there and coming back that I could do it and do it without very much discomfort. I've had pain in my back for more than 20 some odd years from falling down a mountain in Korea with a Preak-10 radio on my back, and automobile accident that totaled my car about 6 weeks before we left.
Yes.
Yeah. That sent me straight to the hospital and under the surgeon's knife. But all of that totally, or almost totally, gone away by going to Ghana and having the experience of renewing my relationship with my cultural birthplace. Oh, it was amazing. It was amazing. Okay, the psycho-emotional changes were less striking, but just as profound and meaningful. The welcoming attitude of everybody in the country. You saw my wife smile just then? Because she's thinking about the woman who was on the plane when we first got into Ghana before we had left the airport, who had volunteered to be my queen mother. And once she heard what I was there in Ghana to do and so forth and so on, she just wanted to get attached. But it wasn't just her. All of the cab drivers in the whole place wanted to help us.
Yes.
Everywhere we went, people volunteered to assist us in doing just about anything we wanted to have done.
Yes.
The almost complete lack of crime robbery, burglary, carnapping, and those things just don't occur in the country of Ghana. I had to, last time I was in Ghana, explain to the village of Larteh what rape was, because they'd never heard or experienced anything like that. Ever. Ever. They had no concept of what rape was. And when I explained it, they were kind of, why would somebody want to do that? Why would anybody need to do that? You're talking about a country in which you can have as many wives as you can support. But it isn't just about that particular crime, it's about crime in general. In Ghana, you trust everybody because just about everybody is trustworthy. Nobody wants to do anything bad to anyone else, and nobody thinks about anyone doing anything bad to them. One of the problems in our own psychology is that we have adopted the psychological profile of Europeans who fear everything. And their whole life is about facing one fear after another. How do you deal with this fear? How do you deal with that fear? What fear do you need to watch out for? How is this person going to help you? How is this situation going to hurt you? How is this person going to use you and abuse you? These are the emotional, spiritual sets that almost all Europeans live. And they taught us to live that same way. Slavery had a whole lot to do with it, but it was basically a reinforcement of their world view. That totally disappeared in Ghana. Now, something that may or may not be appropriate to add in this is something called seasonal affective disorder. Seasonal affective disorder, SAD, SAD, is a condition that happens primarily during the winter months when lack of sunshine causes a depression, a loss of energy, a lack of motivation, a lack of ability to rest. Now, this is at least ascribed in major part to lack of sunshine and the radiations that sunshine contains. It almost always happens around October, November, and right around March, April, it goes away. See this? This skin was made for climate in which that type of sunshine, the type of sunshine that creates this, is there every day. This was made where they don't have winters. Going to Accra and Larteh in December and January, when we would normally be suffering from lack of sunshine, kind of stopped that whole syndrome from occurring, and at least some of the good feeling, the feeling of strength, the feeling of energy, the feeling of ability was probably due to all the sunshine we absorbed when normally here in Cleveland we would not be getting any of that. When we did finally leave Ghana and come back to the United States. The temperature was 18 degrees in Washington, D.C. The government was closed. The states of Virginia and Maryland had closed their roads and highways to everything except emergency traffic. And there was a blizzard in both Maryland and Ohio. Was there one in Pennsylvania? Yeah, but it was not quite as bad in Pennsylvania. But those quote unquote normal weather occurrences in temperate areas like the United States were totally gone in Ghana. And nobody there knew anything about seasonal affective disorder because they don't have it.
I noticed that they didn't walk around. Some things I see in the United States with people with a mug on their face, like I didn't see anyone walking around with a mug on their face. Even
Yes.
those that were carrying food on their head, walking up and down the highway,
There.
selling food.
Yes. Nobody had the mug on.
No.
Nobody mugged. Nobody felt the need to have to protect themselves by adopting that type of attitude.
We have some pictures of some of the elders with Mick that we'd like to share with you. Yes.
Hot dog.
Yes. Yes.
Hat dick, look at that.
My fellas.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
I
Now, they
posted
have
that-
manly faces, but
Yeah.
there was nobody walking around angry with a mug on their face or like they had to use their facial expression to protect themselves. So
I posted that picture on Facebook and just said shout out to my elders / priests in brothels.
Yes.
yes.
In Larte,
Yes.
Ghana.
Yes.
Absolutely, my
Yes.
brother.
And then we have a picture of the drummers that were having a wonderful time with my husband.
Hot dog.
Yes. We
Show
like
that
to
one
look
more
at
time,
that
honey.
some more.
Woo!
Yes.
That is not a photo that we have retouched. Now, light comes down to me like that in many of the photographs that we took
Yes.
in Ghana.
Yes. Almost all of them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
God just does that.
Yes.
I'm strange.
Especially strange. Yes.
Especially strange
Yes.
there.
And we also have a picture of some of the female priestess.
Yes,
Picture
she
of
just
you.
showed them. There they are.
Yes, there they are. Nana Wawa is the female you see right in the middle. She gave me her mother's name. That's Nana Wawa. And Obije is with the white,
With the
beautiful
white on,
white
yeah.
dress on.
Mm-hmm.
And then
Nana Enema.
Enema. Oh, okay. And I thought her name started with a O, but okay, I have it mixed up with someone else. And then to our left to Nana is another priestess.
And that's right me in the front of the picture. You just looking at my head real quick right there.
Yeah.
And my wife's taking off
Yeah.
of one of my necklaces.
Yeah, we're starting to undress to get ready for the very first cleansing ceremony.
Yes. Oh boy.
I wanted to say thank you to Micah. She's so grand at putting the pictures up, the slides up, and we really appreciate that. Of course,
Micah Tate.
Micah Tate, Mick's wonderful daughter, our producer.
She is wonderful.
Yes.
She's not just mixed. I claim her also.
Yeah, he claims her.
I have been claiming her for about 20 years.
Yeah, I can claim her now.
Okay.
Share like.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed. Yet, believe it or not, we were talking about sharing your family before we came here.
Yeah,
tonight.
how much we love your family.
Mm-hmm. And I really appreciate, Mick, I really appreciate you letting me share your family.
Yeah.
You welcome.
Hey. There is one negative aspect that involves and revolves around the expectation of others for me to continue their traditions, customs, and ways of thinking that characterize past leaders of the Akan cosmology. Now, no, we ain't gonna mention no names, but you know who you are. Wanting me to do like everyone else does is not going to happen. Let me tell you first and foremost what I tell everybody when I am introduced to them. I'm strange. And I've been strange since before I was born. My mother's father told everybody I was going to be strange when I was born. And I am, always have been. Those things that most people do, nope, it's an anathema to me because I am not most people. I introduced differences. I introduced new ways of experiencing this thing called life. And one of my strange modes of behavior is I almost never do what is traditional, customary, or expected. My whole life has been about introducing new thoughts, ideas, concepts, and understandings. I am not here to do what anyone expects, requests, or suggests. I am about the change that enables, uplifts, and heals. If tradition is so important to anyone, that people, humanity, its future should be sacrificed, then please accept my resignation from any office, organization, or position so restricted. I was me long before I ever met you. I will continue to be me long after I don't know anybody. Yes, because that's what God told me to be. And I'm very malleable like that.
Yes.
Uh-huh. I ask the Most High just about everything that I do. And I generally follow what they tell me to do. Not human beings. Who are limited both in their understanding and their knowing. This isn't just the results of me being well trained. This is the result of me being educated so that I understand my being. And that's my responsibility. That is my purpose. That is my job, is to teach others how to be responsible for their being, which most people have no idea what the hell that is, let alone how it functions. That's my job, to teach those things. I will, again, like with the Hip Hope Trio, teach you what you are, a trivalent being, and what that means and how that works. Who you are, a descendant from ancestors that go all the way back to the first human beings on this planet. Where you are, and I'm not talking about GPS or address, I'm talking about the historical inheritance of the place that you reside.
Oh, Nicole joined us again, looks like it. Or is that from
Oh.
last week?
Last week.
All right.
Last week, okay. And lastly, when you are, so that you can place in a timely fashion all of those energies and directions that is the basis for your being. It is the basis for your why you are.
Well, on that note, the why we are, my purpose is to educate others. My soon has provided that for me through aiding others, teaching others, and educating others. And so the trip for me to Ghana, starting off with, I'm going to start off with the physical, like my husband did. It physically, I was able to breathe better because we were in a jungle. We were around foliage all around us. And with the sun shining down on the foliage, helps open up the tomain. I think that's how you pronounce it, of the leaf, and it releases even more oxygen. So it was beautiful. The physical sun itself was not
Oh, God.
harsh. It was gentle, though it's easy to get dehydrated because you don't feel yourself getting hot. So it's important to stay hydrated. So that's something I had to continue to do. My husband created a new, I'm going to say, remedy for me while we were there because I already had a sinus infection, I believe, before I got there. And so he created something for me, and it cleared up just like that. It seems as though when we're in situations and I ask my husband I tell him what's going on and ask him for assistance, we have been blessed to come up with something nobody else is using. Of course, my husband's a genius, y'all already know. But getting to the mental part of it, I was able to rest every night. Had no problem resting, even when we weren't feeling well, because we did get a case of ptomaine poisoning from some food that had been setting out. But even from that, we were able to rest well. I didn't feel anxious as much as I normally do. I must say, I am challenged with PTSD. That's something that I inherited. I believe most of it came through the enslavement that my ancestors struggled through, and then it was passed on. So being there, it felt like I was being cared for. It felt like the ancestors were telling me, this is your time to heal. My skin felt better. Even when we returned, my skin was so much better. Even my husband's skin was better.
Yes.
So that's physically. Spiritually, I was just uplifted. All my imaginations that I had within me of being in the motherland came forth.
Wow.
And it just felt like it was magical, that I was just in a fairy tale. And if we told people what was happening to us, they would think that we were just lying. But you'd have to know us to know that it was an experience that was, and it felt like I was in another dimension.
Okay, David Owusu.
Oh, David is joining us.
He says, greeting my great team, Nana, Amwa, and my precious queen. What's up,
You're
David?
so precious to us. And Charles, yes, we got a call.
Charles
hey guys.
Huntley. Hey
Charles
guys,
Huntley.
he said, hey
Charles.
guys, miss you both. Charles, that's Tank from back in the day. Remember
Oh, I
Tank?
remember Tank.
What's up, Tank?
Oh, my God.
What's happening, man? Call in.
Blessing,
Ask
yes.
a question, man.
All right, we got a call right now, my
We
darling.
got a call?
Yes.
Ask a question online. Here we go.
Okay. Caller. Who might be?
Hello, this is caller Tom.
Okay.
Tom.
Tom
Greetings,
Katowski. Hot dog.
Tom.
What's up, Tom?
One of my favorite people on this.
Yes.
Tom, you got a question for...
Thank you for you.
Come on.
Thanks for your insightful show.
Okay. You're so very welcome.
Yes.
Do you have a question we can apply ourselves to?
Yes, since you just came from the land of Ghana, what is one thing that what's one thing that this culture should learn from the Ghana culture?
Oh, God. I could name you about 5 or 6 right off the top of my head.
Being appreciative ancestors is number one.
What's your number one?
My number one is human history. Human history, not European history, not Chinese history. Human history. Ghana has a history all the way back to just about the foundations of humanity on this planet. And they have developed many of the resources that we take for granted right now. Medicine, pharmacology, mathematics, psychology, music, dancing.
Oh, clothing.
Clothes.
Oh my goodness, the garments that they had on. The material, everybody had on lovely material, well-defined material.
And the history of all of those subjects start and develop and proceed from Alkebulan. Everybody else is behind the 8 ball. That's one thing that the whole world should take from Ghana. The other thing is whom they are. I was taken aback by my realization that almost everybody in Ghana knows their family line for at least 8, 9, 10 generations. And they can just run to you. Who's their great-grandfather, who's their great-great-grandfather, who's their great-great-grandmother, who's their great-great-great-grandmother, who's their... back to 8 or 9 different places. Here in the United States, in most of the world, not most of the world, Europe, if they go back 2 generations, that's a lot. Some people can go back 3. Almost nobody can go back 4. Now, here in the United States, almost no Alkebulanese can go back more than 2 generations.
Yeah.
So basically what you're saying, that Ghana carries on the tradition of the family, where the U.S. probably lost that in the 90s.
To a degree, yes, but I think that we never really had it. Let's go all the way back to 1650. 1650. Most people just knew their grandparents. There was a rare one who understood who their great-grandparents were. Nobody understood anything further back than that. And that got worse, as you correctly stated, as time went on. As time went on, that family group got smaller, tighter, till father and mother were at question. Grandfather, grandmother, oh, more questions. Anything after that, no questions. They had almost no understanding. Period. Right now, here in America, they're talking about something called reparations. The first repairing that needs to be done is the repairing of the understanding of whom we are, because the first thing that was taken from Alkebulanese that were brought here as slaves was their identity, who they were. That means who they were from, what group, what tribe, what people, what parentage, what culture. That was all taken and uniformly forbidden that slaves would try to find those things out. That's the history of our country.
So let me ask one other quick question.
Sure, you got two.
Yeah. So the follow-up question is: do you think God created this dichotomy to give certain people like yourself and Hamida the vision and purpose to put in place God's original vision?
I could give you so many different answers to that. I could give you such psychological and spiritual, even cultural answers to that. I will simply say the one word that explains and responds to your question most directly. Did God set this all up so that we could be educators? Uh-huh. Yes, sir. That is my firm and honest belief, but more importantly, I've been told that. I've been told that by ancestors that are no longer in this reality. I've been told that by people. Tom, I told you about me dying? Okay, just for everybody else. Republic of Vietnam, I was blown up by a rocket-propelled grenade. It tore a hole in my back and my left hip. And
you did. Yes, you did. You did tell me that story.
Right.
Now I think about it.
And I bled to death. And if it hadn't been for my OP mate, crazy Hawaiian by the name of John Kalama, who actually shot the corpsman in the leg and made him take me out of the body bag and resuscitate me, I might have stayed that way. But months later in Camp Zama in Japan, I remembered what happened when I died. And when I died, I went through the tunnel, went through the light to the warm place where it felt like, yeah, there was a sun shining, but there was light from everywhere. It was no sun. It was warm, and it felt enabling. And they told me then, you're not supposed to be here. This is not your time, and it's not your time because you've got to go back down and do yada, yada, yada. You were already supposed to be doing yada, yada, yada. You told God that you were going to do yada, 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 yada. So we've got to send your butt back down there so you can do what you were created to accomplish. I am fighting, I'm kicking, I'm trying to punch these beings, because nobody wants to leave heaven once you are there. Well, it isn't really heaven, it's called a Wu-O, the kind call it. But once you get into that warm, delightful, enabling space, you don't want to leave. Nobody wants to leave. But
okay,
that kind of answers the question.
No further questions. Yeah. No further questions, teacher.
All right then, my brother. Thank you so very much.
Something we did not add yet is that there's no sirens there. You do not hear.
In Ghana, no.
In Ghana, no. You don't hear a lot of loud noises at night.
I'm sorry. I heard one siren the 2 weeks that I was in Ghana. For the 2 weeks that we were there, I heard one siren.
And it was
on
like,
an ambulance.
Yeah, and it was like woo, 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 woo,
yeah.
Not,
oh no, not
that.
that high-pitched screaming thing that brings on anxiety and paranoia and all other things.
It was less light pollution, so at night it was so soothing.
It was indeed. Okie doke. Lastly.
Well, so thank you, and so you now helped enlighten and shed the light on the yin and the yang of the universe.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so very much. Yes. It is my purpose. That is my why.
Thank you so.
Thank you for calling.
So much, Tom, for calling in.
We really appreciate you.
Okay, and we're still pitching the idea of hosting the Althea Gibson documentary, by the way.
Absolutely. I need to talk to a few people about that, but let me finish this and we'll get to that.
All right, finish up. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Tom.
We can actually talk to.
All right, bye-bye.
Yes, Francis about that.
Yes, we need to talk to Francis about that. Lastly, The spiritual changes that were dictated by my trip were highlighted by changes in images of mankind, my family, Alkebulanese, and history. Wow. Exactly what Tom was asking me about, and I didn't even realize that I had put it down here. The importance of the changes in the racial makeup of the Kemetan, Hebrew, and Christian originators were tied to the importance of the trivalent nature of mankind.
Let's see the picture of Yeshua and the Holy Family.
Okay.
Yes.
Right. Now, this is one of a whole, really hundreds of early pictures of Yeshua ben Yosef, the person that the Roman Catholic Church calls Jesus Christ. All of his original pictures were of an Alkebulanese because everybody knew that Jews were Alkebulanese. I asked the question of a preacher from Korea, does he know where Yeshua ben Joseph grew up at? He became angry because he obviously did not know. But it says so right there in the Bible. Right after he was born, his father went to sleep that night and had a dream that Herod was out to kill a family. And so they got up the next morning and moved to Alkebulan, specifically Kemet. And that's where he grew up. He grew up in what the Romans call Africa. And he stayed there his whole life until he was 30 some odd years old, and then he left. But that's where he grew up. That's where his ideas, his living, his images of reality were formed, and that's where he was trained in the Alkebulanese ideas of living that he taught up until his termination and his leaving this reality. This is all hidden from Alkebulanese. This is hidden from the Ghanaians who are there with churches all around them, trying to teach them about a pink man whose name is Jesus. That trivalent nature states that your spirit enables, protects, and imagines. And that imagined image is the thing that your spirit sends to your mind to think, consider, compare, and do all the stuff that minds do. And if I control the nature of the images you think about, I control you. And that's why the Romans, soon as they adopted Christianity, put a Roman face on the person that they called Jesus. The first pictures and statues made him look sort of like the Bacchus, the Roman god of wine. And since he changed water into wine, the Romans were all into that. A smooth face, rounded cheeks, sort of like Bacchus, until they started hearing all the people from Kemet, and that was where the Christian church actually was founded in Alkebulan. Started talking about Yeshua being the Son of God. And as soon as they started that, the Romans changed the image of Jesus to reflect him being the son of their chief god, who was called Zeus. Zeus had a big curly head and a big beard, and so they made Jesus Christ have a little beard and curly hair, long hair. But he got pinker and pinker as time went on, even though most European cities most European countries, most European establishments had pictures of Yeshua that showed him to be Alkebulanese, had picture of Mary that showed her to be Alkebulanese, because everybody knew that the Jews that came into that town or that country were dark-skinned. Until about 2 or 3 centuries of rape and pogroms by Europeans lightened their skin texture. Mm-hmm. Yeah. But they knew Jews were dark-skinned. Mm-hmm. And in discussing this with Jewish leaders, they will tell you in a minute, yes, the original Jews were dark-skinned, mm-hmm. with tight, curly hair. Yeah, they understand reality. The Roman Catholic Church and many quote-unquote Christian organizations don't. And they don't want to teach true history, true religion, or true spirituality. Okay. That nature, the trivalent nature of mankind, relies not only on the understanding of the enabling, protective, visualizing nature of the human spirit, but its undeterred task of directing and guiding the mind and body. And they do that day after day, year after year, time after time. We got a song for you. Oh, wait a minute. David says, what are some of the differences or the things did you learn from us in Ghana, specifically our culture in general, at Larte Kubiasi? I will come right back with the answer to that, or my response to that, soon as we get through singing this song about how your spirit is unrecognized, unappreciated, and to a large degree unused voluntarily by most human beings. It's a song from, what's the girl's name?
Cyndi Lauper.
Cyndi Lauper, called Time After Time. You are a trivalent being, composed of spirit, mind, and body. Your spirit rarely communicates with you consciously, but if it did, I think the conversation might go a little something like this. Lying in my bed, I hear the clock tick and think of you. Caught up in circles, confusion is nothing new. Flashback. Warm nights, almost left behind. Suitcase of memories. Time after sometime you picture me. I'm walking too far ahead. You're calling to me. I can't hear what you have said. Then you say, go slow. I fall behind the second and unwind. If you look, you can look, and you will find me. Time after time. If you fall, I will catch you. I'll be waiting. Time after time. If you look, you can look, and you will find me. Time after time. If you fall, I will catch you. I will be waiting. Time after time. I'm that part of you, deepest part of you. I'm your spirit, but you don't recognize me. Way down part of you, yes, that part of you. I'm your spirit, but you don't understand. But then after your picture fades and darkness has turned to gray, watching through windows
You're wondering if I'm okay.
Secrets stolen
From deep inside.
the drum beats out of time.
If you look, you can look, and you will find me. Time after time. If you fall, I will catch you. I'll be waiting. Time after time. If you lost,
After time, after time, after time, after time. Time after time, after time. You said,
go slow. I fall behind.
the second hand unwind.
If you look, you can look, and you will find me. Time after time. If you fall, I will catch you. I'll be waiting. Time after time. If you look, you can look, and you will find me. Time after time. If you fall, I will catch you. I will be waiting. Time after time.
Time after time.
Time after time.
Time after time.
Time after time. Time after time.
Time after time.
Time after time. Time after time. Yes.
Okay. Now, David, what are some of the difference or the things did you learn from us in Ghana, specifically our culture in general at L'Arte Kubiase? I learned that you are all looking for ways to enable each other. I have heard of more people there who were looking to support their parents or an aunt or an uncle or somebody else in their family. I learned that there were great differences in how you saw yourselves. Again, you know who you are.
Yeah.
You know whose you are. That is very different than the United States of America, where most people do not know their great-grandparents. I learned that most Ghanaians see Americans as privileged. And to a large degree, I guess we are. And our privilege is that we have the ability to bring back to you things that were taken both from you and to you. That's just a beginning of the things we learn.
In addition, the water carriers well. We were so pleased that my husband and Mick and you, David, had the opportunity that you guided them with the opportunity to experience the well. It was something that my husband had, the concept of the survival of mankind depended on the water carriers.
Yes.
And they were blessed with a body, a strong body.
Yeah, we were blessed too with
not
them having
only
that
to
strong,
carry
same body.
water to the people, to their families, but also carry the children on their backs while
Yes.
they're doing this,
Yeah.
and other items and tools that they needed. So yes, learning about getting more in touch with the water carriers was another tradition that I was so pleased that was still alive.
Yes.
I wish the language tree itself was easier to obtain while we were there. It was a lot. During the ceremonies, we were being given directions in tree, and that helped a lot because they were doing it so we would feel comfortable in the ceremonies, and we imitated or copied off what they said, but still did not get the history of tree and the foundation of it. So we're looking forward to doing that.
Absolutely. Matthew Kendall, I think that's
Yes,
Dad.
that's Dad.
Dad Mac.
Yeah,
Hello,
that's
brother
Papa Bear.
and sister. Yeah, it is. God bless
Yes.
you all and all whom you love and touch every day. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you, Madase Matt.
Yes,
Anything
indeed.
goes with Carter says, hey, family.
Yes,
Hey,
indeed.
anything goes with Carla.
Everything goes with Carla. Hey, family,
family.
how are you with
Back
love?
to you. Yes, with
indeed.
love.
That's
with
Carla.
love.
That's our girl. She's part of family. Okie doke, y'all. The last point to cover is the point of reputation of our journey for others. I have already wanted to understand the functioning of the being human. I always thought that I would be taught how humanity worked. As a child, this was something that I figured school was for, to teach human beings how human beings function, how we work. Each new level of education was pregnant with the promise of exposing how the human spirit, mind, and body were organized, functioned, and operated. But at each level, I was disappointed. So I did the research myself, wrote the papers, wrote the articles, and got nominated for this thing called the X Prize, $10 million prize in innovation, and they wanted me to go to New York to the United Nations Incentive to Innovation Conference and tell the world about how humanity functioned. Believe it or not, I went with my business partner and assistant, the producer of this show, McKinley Tate III.
Yup.
And we did, we did the exposures that I was hoping to get from educational institutions as I was growing up, because I thought all human beings needed to understand how they worked. I kept looking for it, couldn't get it. Looking for it, couldn't get it. Asking for it, couldn't get it. People did not even know what I was talking about in many cases when I was asking them, because I kept trying. I kept attempting until we formed Prometheus Reborn Universal Foundation and actually started teaching it ourselves. And the next class starts the first Tuesday in April.
Yes, and we're going to pull that flyer up. There's a flyer for that for our listening audience, and we want to zoom in a little bit. Just a little bit.
April
see if
the
that helps.
April.
First
That would be
Tuesday.
4/2/2024.
Mm-hmm.
First Tuesday in April.
All
April
right.
the 4th.
And you can RSVP 216-375-2742.
Yes, and we will get you squared away. Again, this isn't an eventual thing that eventually makes you better. We will change how you function in as little as 133 seconds.
And as my husband said, it's our spiritual responsibility.
It is.
As
That's
educators.
why I am. Because I kept trying as a child to get this understanding, but no matter how I tried, I couldn't get that understanding. In our training system, we do not have an educational system. We have a training system. So we're proposing a new system for Cleveland, America, and the world, so that all children do not have to sing this song that is coming up next.
Well, we want to look at the creators of the cartoon,
Yes.
the Kendall boys, with their mother, Carla.
That's him. That's
Kendall.
Carla. Anything goes with Carla right in there.
Yes,
There's the
she's got her
boy.
show.
Uh-huh.
And there's the twins,
That's the twins. Yes, indeed.
Matthew and Artis.
That's them. And they came up with this cartoon rendition of a song that I wrote that explains my searching for humanity's functional basis. But I couldn't get it. And that's the name of the song.
Yes.
Can't get. Can't get it. When you're going through this thing called life, you're going to have a great number of opportunities, and you're going to have some challenges. In those opportunities and those challenges, you may not be able to get everything that you want, but you should always try to get what you need.
You can't always get what you want. You can't always get what you want. You can't always get what you want.
But if you try sometimes, you just might find you get what you need. Now we're all here for the celebration, trying to find out my own creation, how to learn from my imagination, finding truth, my only liberation. Yeah. 'Cause you can't always get what you want. You can't
Always get what you want. Always get what you want.
But if you try sometimes, you know you just might find you get what you need. So we find ourselves without the spirit, trying with mind and body just to feel it. We train, then work to make our money. Without purpose, we're feeling kind of funny, and not the ha-ha kind. 'Cause you can't always get what you want. You really can't. Just might find you get what you need. So finally, I thought I'd try this tuning, understanding. You know, it taught me the way I say no fooling. Now believe what you want, it's your decision. But I know the way without collision. 'Cause you can't always, no. Sometimes get it that way. You sometimes can't get it another way that you can. And I try sometimes, just like that, get what you need. You get what you need. You get what you need.
All right. Madase, Matthew, and Artist.
And Artist, yes indeed. The twins made it. We tried to make it better if we could.
Yes.
And we have made our trip to Ghana a journey for all of our listeners.
Yes.
We're going to be back next week with a brand new show about a brand new topic and subject that will allow you to have some instant gratification of your humanity. Hot dog.
Yes.
Can't beat that, y'all.
Yeah.
Until then, my wife and I must wish you peace,
Peace, y'all.
which stands for
Proper education always corrects error.
Peace, y'all.
Peace.
Out.
Love.
Well, I'm tired a little bit differently. I'm dressed as Baba Amwa. If you would like more of your own understanding, like, share, and subscribe.
Yes.
And go to the sites that we have listed around us. The Most High is good.
And the ancestors are kind
Thanks
for having us on your minds.
Peace.